Tonight we have a great episode for you guys, full of stories on a new class coming to UCM, a couple of very talented students, and more.
And we'll be going to the MLK Day of Service and talking about an award UCM won dealing with their military transition students.
So take a seat. Lowdown is next.
Hi, welcome to Lowdown, a show put on by the students of the University of Central Missouri in Warrensburg. I'm Rick Fahler.
And I'm Ranjanae Hill. We're your new hosts of Lowdown. Thanks for joining us this evening as we kick off our first episode of the new year.
And let's start the night off right by talking about a professor who's taking to the skies with a new class at UCM, and a couple of students teaming with talent.
After applying for a University Foundation grant a year ago, Dr. Stephen Price has acquired 2 new toys for the comm department and the university.
Getting the drone was the easy part. Actually acquiring it, I applied for a University Foundation grant, and it's a very innovative, cool thing. This was probably a year ago or more. And so I got the funding pretty quickly and went out and bought the drone and started flying it. We actually have 2 different models. This is the DJI Phantom 3 Professional. It's got a 4K video camera on it, and so we got it to teach primarily cinematography and aerial cinematography to students.
Dr. Price looks to start a new class in the fall of 2016 that focuses on drone regulations and operations in a growing market.
So the class is going to start in the fall of 2016. It's just going to be a 1-hour special topics course the first time we offer it. We're hoping that there's enough interest that at least once a year, maybe even twice a year, we'll offer this class. There are no prerequisites. Video gaming experience helps, but isn't required. And really, that's, it's going to be a class where we teach from the ground up, not only the basics of how to fly it, but the rules and regulations surrounding it, and how to choose a model for what you want to do with it, because there's 100 different kinds of drones out there, and each one does something a little better, a little worse. So,
drones are used for many professions beyond cinematography, such as construction, real estate, and many others.
We're actually targeting a variety of students with the class. We're hoping to get our own digital media production students enrolled in the class because we want to teach them aerial cinematography. And there's a lot of jobs out in the industry. We're also targeting lots of other different markets. So we're targeting people in aviation that don't want to go up in an airplane but want to fly bigger drones. And learning on something like this can translate up. Not directly. Those are a lot more complicated to fly, and you're often in a virtual cockpit and looking at things instead of just looking at your hands. But it's a similar sort of concept. We're targeting roofers. We're targeting real estate agents, because these are all areas of the industry where a real estate agent isn't going to hire a drone operator for every single house they want to sell just to get some aerial shots. But Zillow and places like that, the apps these days that people are looking at, they really want to see footage of the house. They want to see still images, but videos are even better. And if they can get an aerial shot and see where the thing's located and what the roof looks like and all of that. So a lot of real estate agents are looking at drones as a way to capture some of those images, and so they want to fly them themselves because they're cheap. But I think there's a market for us to train people in those industries as well that aren't going to be professional drone operators, unlike hopefully maybe our students, but that need to know the rules and regulations and need to know the basics of flying them too, and how to get good images.
Keep an eye out for even more opportunities as the department looks to grow their drone training program. Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Bryce Jones.
Time and time again, the University of Central Missouri continues to find talented people. Hannah Byrne is just one of those faces. She has been making her impact by working with the University Relations Department, creating commercials and promotional videos.
My job is a lot of fun. I get to edit videos and promotional videos for the school and commercials. I get a real life experience of what it's going to be out in the real world, and I get to edit things that will actually be shown to prospective students. It's a really good feeling for after you finish a video that it will go up on a website and then everyone can see it. It goes on YouTube and you get to share it with your friends.
Films and videos aren't the only thing helping Hannah stand out. She's also an extremely gifted musician.
So whenever I was 10, I started to play, I got guitar lessons because my brother got guitar lessons and I got jealous. So I played guitar for about 10 years.
Hannah also managed to learn to play the bass, the banjo, the mandolin, and the ukulele. While learning to play, she also picked up a knack for songwriting and quickly began creating original songs.
Whenever I was a junior in high school, I started to put my music up on SoundCloud. And eventually I got 2,000 followers, which was really cool. So eventually I was like, I really want to put a CD together. Some I gave out for free, and then eventually it was costing a lot to make them, so I charged like $5. I really like that feeling of letting everyone hear my music, even though it's like, I was just a kid in high school. I got that opportunity.
Just last November, Hannah and 4 other students filmed her first official music video.
It was really interesting because I got to play around with like the production side, and that really played well with what I'm learning now as a college student.
I hadn't listened to the song in so long, and I was just absolutely captivated watching it, and it was just all put together so nicely, and she has such an amazing voice.
I love watching her music video and just seeing how far she's come. It's pretty amazing to see what she's done with her major and her singing and everything like that.
Hannah's friends believe she has a bright future ahead.
I would advise everyone at this university who knows her to keep an eye on her, because we'll see her name somewhere.
She has the determination, and she has the, not the bossiness, but she knows how to get stuff done. I think she'll go places with her major and everything like that, so yeah.
Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Rick Failer. Hundreds of thousands of videos are uploaded to YouTube every day. Among those uploaders, one UCM student, Katy Leggett, managed to find success.
So I was 14 years old. I just entered high school, and I think I was a little bit bored, and I also just discovered the YouTube beauty community. So I was watching all these other girls on YouTube who made these videos that I was interested in, and I had always been interested in makeup and whatnot and beauty. So I watched their videos, and then I discovered that I could actually upload them myself, and I filmed a how to make a lip gloss video because I had just learned how to do that. So I did that. I filmed a few other videos, and they started to pick up viewership over time. It took a little while, and I just found a passion for it and continued to do it for years and years.
Katy's first glance at viewership sparked from a video gone viral.
In summer of 2012, I created a video where I showed people how to dip dye their hair with Kool-Aid. And it was the most random thing. I had just learned how to do it probably just from the internet myself. And I made the video, 2 minutes long. It was just an easy edit, uploaded it, and a month later it had 1 million views. And now to this day it has 14.8 million views, I believe. And I kind of think of that video as the reason to why my channel kind of blossomed.
Now that Katy's channel has over 100,000 subscribers, she's decided to branch her channel out.
My channel name is no longer Makeup Katy 95, it's Katy Leggett. It is me, so it's not just beauty videos, it's lifestyle videos. And I see it going from me being younger, and I'm gonna continue to grow up on this online community. I just know in my heart that my passion is this, and it's to see the continue and the growth of where the internet is going, and I want to make it positive. It's shaped me. I never knew what I wanted to be when I was growing up. I never knew. And I never really thought about the future. And then one night I was just sitting there and it clicked, and I realized that the answer was that I had made this name for myself online, and it was a huge part of my life, so it means something, and it means that I probably need to go in the direction that I'm passionate about, and that is YouTube and what the world of social media is, I suppose.
Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Rick Failer.
Talk about the talent coming out of UCM. Speaking of, we'll be showing Hannah's full music video at the end of this episode.
I can't wait to see what my fellow students create with the use of those drones. Now let's check in with President Ambrose to see the changes happening around UCM. And also, let's talk about a little trip to the Big Apple UCM's Department of Music is about to take.
That's right. President Ambrose held a press event to talk about the future of UCM, and our very own concert choir and wind ensemble is getting to perform at Carnegie Hall in New York City.
The president of the University of Central Missouri, Chuck Ambrose, discussed many different issues involving UCM and its students last Wednesday, January 20th. Some of the issues he discussed involve Governor Jay Nixon's agenda from 2010 and what Governor Nixon hoped Missourians would accomplish, among other things.
The governor really set out 4 major objectives, and one was to meet the access goal, the 60% of Missourians with a degree by 2025, and certainly the affordability goal, and efficiency, which we've worked real hard to meet, and then collaboration and cooperation. And I think as we started the fall and as we started to kind of communicate where the university is now, 5 full years into this agenda, really, we would report that we're in a very advantageous, a very competitive, perhaps a real leading role, not only in the state, but really on a national level. And that's somewhat been sustained as we're starting this winter semester, because we're opening with, again, about a 6% increase in headcount and 3.4% increase in credit hours.
President Ambrose also discussed UCM's funding and how the school will receive extra money due to UCM's growing size.
Because we've grown so much, we're actually in a position to receive about $300,000 in additional funding in the equity formula.
President Ambrose also talked about the positive impact UCM has had on its students. More UCM students are graduating, but with less debt compared to other colleges.
Almost every objective on both the national and the state level, we have produced very significant results. More students attending college, holding tuition below inflation, a 23% increase in graduates, more graduates on track to finish in 4 years. But it looks like we've taken another $4 million out of our student debt portfolio as an institution. So for 2 years, that totals almost $10 million less in borrowing than we've had. So down from about 65 million to close to 55 million. So more students completing their degrees on time, at the same time having to borrow less to go to college. And pretty extraordinary, really. I mean, where all the trends and all the national attention, even public perception is that that's not possible. It is here.
For Lowdown, I'm Natalie Ditullio.
The UCM Wind Ensemble and Concert Choir will be making a trip to New York City to perform at the famous Carnegie Hall on February 13th as part of the Ensemble Spotlight Series.
We took the wind ensemble to perform at Carnegie Hall for the first time in 2010, and we had been recommended by an alumnus of the university, former member of our department, who was also a music educator, conductor. They recommended us, and so we submitted basically an application packet to be considered for performance at Carnegie Hall on this Ensemble Spotlight concert series. We had to send in audition audio of various performances by our wind ensemble, copies of printed programs. I had to send in, include my resume, had to send in a history of the program, and from that we received an invitation to be a part of the Ensemble Spotlight Series, which is an annual concert subscription series at Carnegie Hall. And we performed in March of 2010 for a crowd of close to 2,200 people, and it was one of the really transformative experiences of our students' lives, and it was awesome to see our students experiencing something like that and see the looks on their faces when they walked into the hall and saw it for the first time onto the stage, when they made their first sound and when they received a standing ovation from such a huge crowd in New York City. So it really was, it was a big step for our program and memorable for our students. And so then we were invited to come perform again this year, and our concert choir was invited to come with, which is we're really excited about, and we are essentially kicking off the 30th season of this subscription concert series. So we feel really good about that as well, that they thought highly enough of us that they wanted us to start their new season, the anniversary season, and that they wanted us to come back. So we've been working really hard. Students have been very dedicated and really energetic about what they're about to do.
Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Ben Van Maley.
Now you have an inside look on what's in store for UCM.
And how cool for the students preparing to make the trip to New York City. Such a great experience.
But let's switch gears now and talk about an event held in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. and a military award UCM received. Take a look.
Monday, January 18th, while many were taking the day off, a couple hundred of UCM's finest faculty and students were taking the day on. The Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service began with the breakfast catered by Sodexo, followed by a few powerful words by President Chuck Ambrose, which preceded the Day of Service and volunteering. Rebecca Kriebel, Service Day Chair of the Martin Luther King Day of Service, gave us a bit of insight on what the day means to her.
Our logo is a day on, not a day off. And that means, on a day you don't have school, just getting up and going out to your community and giving back.
While some of the volunteering and services happened all around the Warrensburg community, some of the day's work was done directly on campus. We caught up with student Tiara Felder, Hospitality Committee member, who further explained her task while on campus.
We are helping the organization called Wills, and it's pretty much for survival females and everything like that. We are making blankets. We're taking the fleece and we're just cutting it up, tying the ends for a little lap blanket.
Dedicating the day to service is truly commendable, and President Ambrose touched base on what Martin Luther King Day and its contributions mean for equality and unity as a whole.
Important day for our nation, certainly our state, and then ultimately our campus to come together and consider where we are in terms of a nation up against social justice and equality for all. And today, with a community that has the ability of coming together to help meet the needs of others, what a powerful learning tool it is for our students, with one of our values being a culture of service, to celebrate not only what Dr. King has meant to helping build a beloved community, but more importantly, our responsibility in looking forward.
With the idea of kindness and unity, the Day of Service was the best way to implement the university's mission, as well as the dream of Martin Luther King Jr.
The University of Central Missouri's mission is education for service, is the best way for our student body to come together and recognize, as Dr. King said, that love is something to live by because hate is too great a burden to bear.
With UCM being at the heart of the Warrensburg community, students and faculty were given the opportunity to elicit change and help those in need. The university plans to continue the tradition of a day of service for as long as possible and looks forward to increasing and growing in numbers.
Military Advanced Education and Transition has awarded the University of Central Missouri the designation of a top school in its 2016 MAE&T Guide to Colleges and Universities. They measured best practices in military and veteran education.
We have about 1,200, just under 1,200 military and or veteran students, and our job, all three of us are here to basically make as smooth a transition into the academic world as we possibly can for a military member.
Over 600 institutions were presented with the questionnaire of the military supportive policies. After being rated, the top school will be awarded.
They'll seek you out and say, what are you doing? And then we fill out a survey telling them all the things that we offer our military and veteran students. They rate that survey, and then if we finish in the top 25 percentile, then we'll be awarded the top military institution.
This year, they were assessed on military culture, financial aid, on-campus support, and more.
It'll ask us, do we have a Military and Veterans Success Center? We obviously say yes. It's 1,300 square feet of space dedicated to them. So those answers are pretty standard. It's important for us to know, and if we get asked those questions, we want to be able to answer them.
Jeffrey believes the union of traditional students with the military students created a positive bond and ultimately promising change here on our campus.
We do honor the 9/11 Memorial Day, and when the very first year we did that, it was just us and our military students. But last September, when we did Memorial Day, 9/11 Memorial Day, the quad was full of students everywhere. They just stop, wait for the ceremony to finish, and then go on about their classes. So it shows that this is paying off not only for our students, but for our traditional students as well.
I'm Brianna Blocker, reporting for Lowdown.
Hey there, kids. This is Tim. Tim is what we like to call a knucklehead and is trying to remove the ice on his windshield with his hands. Tim could be out here for several minutes trying to remove this ice. What Tim doesn't realize is that there is a simpler way. What Tim needs is some magic stuff. Magic stuff can be made with simple household items, such as those on your screen right now. As long as you store this in your glove box, you can take it out, apply it to your frosted windshield, and voila! No more pesky ice. Make sure to tune in next time to see what Tim will do wrong next.
And with those last two stories, our first episode of the new year comes to a close.
If you missed any segments this evening, do not fear. Our show in its entirety and individual segments can be found on KMOS YouTube page.
And to wrap up the episode, we give you Haunted by Hannah Byrne. I'm Rick Failer.
And I'm Ranjanae Hill. Good night.
When I call you red-handed, your lying eyes shine down. The wild ones thought you were so feeble to cheat and still have doubt. Fallen woman, tempted your soul, a demon wouldn't come out. Lies surround me, the terrors bound me, I couldn't even shout. Called out to the wind, don't say my name again. Your betrayal leaves me haunted, haunted. Now this is the end. See the fire, now I'm burned. All have lessons that we need to learn. Your soul left me haunted, haunted. You left me haunted. Your lies bring you to the everlasting fire down below. Your mortal sins now place your spirit on death row. Call out to the wind, don't say my name again. Your betrayal leaves me haunted, haunted. left me haunted, haunted. Now this is the end. When I caught you red-handed.
Missouri in Warrensburg. I'm Rick Failer.
And I'm Ronjanae Hill. I forgot what I was supposed to say. I'm sorry.
3. Hang on. Okay.
To the Big Apple, UCM's Department of Choir is about to take.
Almost had it. So close. So
I said
close.
choir.
I panicked though because I was like, she's almost done. I was like, I have to say my line now.
Oh, dang.
That's what I do with you too. So I'm like,
Awesome.
I feel like I'm just creepy staring at the camera, so I look at you.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Like I was just. That's why I was like, what?